free agency over these past couple days has been very hectic, and with some of the reports coming out, the Ian Rappaport and a lot of the other reporters, it seems like these next few days are going to be even more surprises coming with teams and all that, especially surrounding the Deshaun Watson case after his resolve on what team he decides he wants to go to, and the implications that his trade may cause for other teams. There's a lot going on around him, not just strictly him, but also the teams he's interested in, and some of the implications of his trades and the talks that he had with teams. One major one is the Browns and Baker Mayfield. We'll get into that a little at the end. A lot of news broke this morning, which is good and bad for me. Good because it brings up another topic, but I actually had recorded this video last night with the intentions of releasing it this morning, and then the video corrupted, so that's not something that you really want to see, but I think it's going to work out good because the video quality is a lot better this time around, and I can use this mic now. I had originally tried to use it on my phone. The video quality was good, but for some reason it was shaking. I think the thing I had it sitting on might have been shaking from like my dryer running or something. Not quite sure exactly, but I know that the audio quality is a lot better now because I can use my mic. So I'm very happy with that. I hope you guys can choose to stick around. I feel like I'm improving with each video that I do, whether that's the video quality, the mic has stayed the same, so I guess that's not improved, or the thumbnails, or just the detail that I go into. I hope that you guys all appreciate any of the work that I'm doing, and I hope that I'm putting a smile on your face, making your day a little bit better, and maybe teaching you a little bit of something. I haven't had a lot of viewership on this channel. I'm sure you already know. If you've clicked on it, there's probably not a lot of interaction. So if you are here, I would appreciate any form of interaction because it does truly mean a lot to me, and it gives me a reason to continue to improve. I've seen some good comments down there, and I really appreciate it. It really brightens my mood when I get some critiques, good or bad, especially when there's some comments down in the chat. It really, really brightens my day, and I appreciate anything. So let's get right into this. My name is John. This channel is The Sports Advocate. Feel free to stick around as long as you want. If you've already clicked off, then I hope you have a great day. You won't be seeing this. So let's get right into this. We're going to move this chair. Last video I had brought up that I wanted to stray away from the PowerPoint a little bit more often. I didn't want to have like the teacher aspect as much because I felt like I was just preaching to some students. And we're not doing a PowerPoint, as you can see. But the funny thing is I am using a whiteboard, which is just the most teacher thing I could have done. But I think it does do good things for me. So what I'm going to do is lower this a little bit. And boom, that's a lot better. Now you can read it. Good thing I noticed that. So let's go ahead and get into this. Deshaun Watson is the major thing. We're going to be talking about the four teams. The Browns. The Browns really changed. A lot of information came out this morning, so I will be talking about that. But the Browns were one of the major suitors. There's four teams. We got the Falcons, Saints, Panthers, and Browns. We're going to be going over each team. Some of like their stats and players. It looks like you can't really see the Panthers because of the blue, which sucks a little bit. But I'm gonna read off and describe everything in more detail than this actually has. So first things first, let's start with the Falcons right over here. There's reports of Jarvis Landry possibly going there, which would be a good piece for Deshaun Watson. I wonder if Deshaun had been talking to Jarvis. I know that's kind of tampering, so you're not allowed to do that. But I don't think anyone really cares anymore at this point. Another thing is their defense was ranked 26 last year. I'm going to do my rankings for defense based off last year just because obviously it's not in the middle of the season now. And I know free agency got moved, like players are moving in the draft. But it's just a good basis. I know some teams might move, or some players that were very important might move. But it's still like a good piece of information to have So their defense was ranked number 26 last year. But the biggest thing for Deshaun Watson and the Falcons is he grew up in Georgia, so he might want to return to his home, to family members around the area, and all that stuff. One thing I do want to bring up real quick before I get too far, every team that was interested in Deshaun Watson had to send a trade offer to the Texans, and the Texans had to approve it before Deshaun could actually go talk to the team or the team talk to him. I believe the Falcons is the only team that Deshaun traveled to go talk to. The rest of the teams did go to Houston to talk to him in the facility. One also very important piece of information is Deshaun Watson does have a no trade clause, which pretty much means wherever he decides he wants to go, he's going to go, because that's the only place that he'll waive his no trade clause. And that's very important because Deshaun Watson pretty much has all the say on where he goes, and the Texans have made it very clear that they don't want him on the team with everything that went on. So next up, we'll move on from the Falcons. I've heard a lot of people say that that's probably the most likely destination. Pat McAfee was talking about it, but I don't know if I actually see that occurring. They have not done a restructure on Matt Ryan yet, which kind of makes me believe that they might not be making a push, or if they did make a push, Matt Ryan would be moved in it. Next up, we got the Saints right here. Got the Saints. Big reason, I'd say offensively, they have Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. I'd probably argue that they're both top 10 in their respective positions, maybe top 15 if you're a little argumentative on Michael Thomas with his injuries as of late. But the offense is very good. Their cap, kind of in a bad spot right now. They did do some contract movement this morning with Taysom Hill and some restructures. So they're pretty close to fitting Deshaun Watson if they were to choose to. But their biggest issue is the Drew Brees contract. It comes off the book next year, but his contract is still on the books, and that's a big reason why they have been negative. Their defense was ranked number 7 last year. They had a very good defense, and that's why I believe that it might be very likely for Deshaun to go there, just if he wants to immediately start winning. And when you take a year off, whatever the reason be, obviously we all know what the reason was, and I won't bring it up because it's not the greatest way to get views, but Deshaun Watson had to sit out all of the past year, and if he wants to go start winning, which I see no reason why he wants to with how good he is, the Saints could be a great option with a great offense and a great defense, and I see no reason why he wouldn't want to go to a team like that. And if I'm being honest, I do think the Saints is my personal favorite for where he can go. Part of that might be just because I don't want to see him in the AFC because it's already so stacked. But at the same time, I have a lot of NFC friends, so seeing him in the AFC might be a little nice to be like, hey, the NFC is just not as good this year, so you got to deal with it. But I do think it'd be nice to have some competition spread out through the league and not have the Chargers have to face another really good team in the AFC more often than you would in the NFC. Next up, we got the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey, great running back when healthy, and that has been the biggest thing as of late, is he cannot stay consistently healthy. There was rumors of a possible trade to get Christian McCaffrey off the team. I don't think that's actually going to happen. The team is very good. They started, I believe, 5-0 last year, and then they kind of fell off. But that was mainly because of that quarterback play. They just couldn't keep up with all of the really good teams. They couldn't go out and score. And their defense was very good, which is why they stuck in a lot of games and why they had a great start. Defense ranked number 2. Defense ranked number 2 last year. They had a very good defense. They had a lot of pieces that did end up moving. Stephon Gilmore has not signed yet. He's likely to move. I don't think he comes back. I don't know how Panthers' cap situation is at the moment. I don't know if he comes back, though. They got a lot of young pieces, so that's very good news. Their cap's probably in a good spot with all those young pieces, probably on rookie contracts. So if Deshaun were to choose the Panthers, there would be nothing wrong with that as long as Christian McCaffrey stays healthy because that defense is so potent. And lastly, We got the Browns. We're going to go over the Browns real quick because a lot of news came out. So, information, Amari Cooper went there, a 5th and 6th swap, Amari Cooper from the Cowboys. They released Jarvis Landry, traded away Odell last year. They have a very, very good running back pairing, probably one of the best in the league, if not arguably the best, with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Both very good. I think they both had over 1,000 the past 2 years. That might be wrong. I apologize. So very good offense again. You got to hope Amari Cooper does good. And they brought back their tight end, which is all great news, in Njoku, if you didn't know. And their defense was ranked number 5th with Myles Garrett. So again, another team with a very, very good offense and a great defense. But let's talk about this real quick. This morning it was reported that the Browns, Deshaun Watson was no longer interested in the Browns, which is not very good news for the Browns since they just went out and pretty much kicked Baker out the door without actually kicking him out the door. So that's not great news at all. Baker this morning did request a trade, major news, but the Browns completely denied it. They said, you're not getting traded, which is very shocking to me. There's a lot of reports that they don't want, I don't remember the exact words, but a young, dumb quarterback. Not broke, but very, not, veteran presence. They want a better, top-tier quarterback. I think that they see the way the AFC is stacked, and they might believe that Baker Mayfield can't bring them to a Super Bowl, which really sucks for Baker. I don't know if I believe that he can, but you got to think about it. Baker took them out of a terrible, terrible position with their quarterbacks. I think they were at 640-something days without a win. Baker won them a game. It was 8 seasons without a playoff debut. Baker got him there and took them all the way against the Chiefs. Almost won that game. So I think Baker's very capable. He should easily be a starter on a different team. It's very surprising that the Browns did all that and are now denying his trade request. I think that's very surprising to me. But these are the 4 most likely teams. I heard reports of Deshaun liking the 49ers. I don't think he actually ends up going there just because of their young quarterback, and they're already trying to move Jimmy Garoppolo. So, again, we're going to run over this real quick. Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Browns. My personal favorite is the Saints. A lot of people are saying the Falcons. I heard new reports that the Falcons are likely out as of this morning per the Falcons side. So, pretty much Saints and Panthers. I think Saints, especially with them reworking a lot of contracts like Taysom Hill, I think the Saints might be the most likely, and I think it is my personal favorite. I do kind of like the idea of the NFC being competition. And I'm a big Alvin Kamara fan, and I think the pairing of Deshaun Watson, Alvin Kamara, and Michael Thomas would be a top 5 trio in the league. I'm not going to list exact numbers of where I think people are, but I'd probably say if that trade were to go through, it would probably be the Saints and Packers and Chargers and Chiefs. And then, I don't know, that 5th spot's pretty tight. That 5th spot's really tight. I almost want to say the Titans, but the QB spot's a little rough there. I think everyone kind of thinks that. Shucks. I'll just leave the 5th open because it's too tight, and it's really hard for me to choose, especially off the top of my head. But I definitely think the Saints, if they were to get Deshaun, would be in the top 5 for trios in the league. Lastly, what I want to talk about real quick here at the end is the Colts quarterback situation. They just traded away Carson Wentz. They said Phillip Rivers 2 years ago, and they went 12-4, made playoffs. So Colts are in a bad spot as of right now. Pat McAfee, huge Colts fan. So hearing lots of reports of who they should go get. Obviously, they haven't made any huge moves yet. They went and got some defense, Unique Ngakoue, and so far that's been it, unless something broke as I'm recording this. It's about 3. So they have a lot of cap space, which is kind of surprising why they haven't made a move yet. I think they can easily make a move, and my thought is that the Colts end up getting whatever quarterback Deshaun Watson gets team's quarterback Deshaun Watson gets traded to. So, for example, I do have it written down here. I'm not going to lift it up because it's not that important, and I can just explain it to you. Colts likely quarterbacks. I had Baker Mayfield. They just denied his trade request, but you got to wonder. Colts got a lot of picks. If they offer something, maybe they'll accept it. Next up, I got Matt Ryan from the Falcons. He's got a big cap, big salary. We're going to move me up a little bit. But they, like I said, they got a lot of cap space, so they can easily go out and get Matt Ryan if they were to choose to. Next up, I got a surprising one, Derek Carr. I think there's a chance that Derek Carr could be moved, especially if the Colts are willing to move like a first-round pick or something of that nature. I don't know if Derek really would require a first. I think he would, especially with how he played last year. Especially against the Chargers that last game. Oof. But I think Derek Carr could get moved, especially if the Raiders can easily still compete in the AFC West. Even as a Chargers fan, I will say that I think the AFC West is very tight. I wouldn't be surprised at any of the teams being third or fourth or first or second. So I don't really even have, I guess I would say the Raiders are my most likely fourth place spot. Just because they haven't made a ton of moves. They just went and got Chandler Jones from the Cardinals. So that is major news from the Cardinals. I think I said that. But you got to wonder if maybe they go ahead and move on from Derek Carr, get a little younger, try and get ahead of the pack in the AFC and the AFC West, most importantly for them. But I think they make a couple moves, they might still be in competition. And even though they got knocked out right away when they did get in the playoffs, it was still a very good team, especially with the interim coach being there. If they get a solid coach and they stop getting so many people sent to prison, then I think they'll be good, as long as they can stay consistent and not be consistent in people going to prison. That's probably a bad joke to keep banging into the floor, but, if it happens, it happens. It's not really a joke if it's true. And lastly, for a Colts quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Obviously, the 49ers do want to move on from him, having their young quarterback and Jimmy constantly being injured, or not constantly, but, he's always banged up in some awkward way. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will likely get moved. I think it could be later, closer to the draft, just because they're not too worried to move it fast. And I think Deshaun Watson gets moved sooner than later, so the Texans know what they're going to do. But the 49ers could easily wait until the draft where someone gets a little gutsy. Maybe they miss out on the quarterback that they wanted, and they offer a bunch for Jimmy Garoppolo because they're worried that they're not going to be able to get a quarterback with how light the draft is for star quarterback talent. So maybe Jimmy Garoppolo ends up traded like on draft day or right before. I wouldn't be too surprised at that. And I think the Colts are a major likely place for Jimmy Garoppolo, because I think the Colts, after the Carson Wentz fiasco, where he just never knows when to stop, Colts might go get somebody that not super risky, is very consistent, and just finding the open man, getting him to him, and someone who's okay with not throwing the ball every time, especially when you have MVP type talent as Jonathan Taylor. I think that was a big reason at the end of the year is they weren't getting the ball to Taylor enough because Carson was just trying to force that huge big play, double coverage, all of those things. So I wonder, Jimmy Garoppolo might be a good option there. I think Matt Ryan also could be. And I think Derek Carr might also be. For the most part, I think the Colts just get whatever team Deshaun Watson gets traded to, the Colts will end up just getting the starting quarterback for that team. My phone is going off. Okay, just wanted to make sure that it wasn't Deshaun Watson getting traded, and this video would be useless. But, yeah, that's it. So Deshaun Watson, a lot of reports. I think a lot of things are going to change just because of the Deshaun Watson trade. I do think Baker might get moved, even though they declined it, just because some desperate, needy quarterback teams might offer enough that they accept it. So that will be it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go ahead and leave a comment, subscribe, like, go ahead and even dislike if it's bad, just so I have some form of criticism. I can learn from it. I think this was a little bit better. I hope I slowed down talking a little bit. At times I felt like I was rushing, but I think it was better. I hope to keep improving. I hope that you guys keep giving me the opportunity to improve and have viewership. I don't really expect to just blow up overnight. That never really happens unless you're like Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast didn't even blow up overnight. It took him years. So I don't expect that. Hopefully I can grow my viewership. Each video, maybe I get 10 views more than the last one. I think that would be great. And I'm being pretty consistent so far. Consistently low, but consistent nonetheless. And I'm very happy about that. I hope you guys give me your time and opportunity to surprise you further in the next video. And I hope that you liked it. I hope put a smile on your face. And I hope that I taught you something. Have a great day, you guys. Be safe out there.